evening. A bitter and long-running dispute between religious factions in Sydney's Assyrian community erupted into fighting within the Supreme Court building today. At least one person was injured as blows were traded over control of the church building in Sydney's west. At the end of the day, a peace plan agreed to inside the court showed little sign of being observed by members of the faction which is losing the battle.
The fact that a dispute exists at all denotes how important the church is to these people. It's central to their lives, and as the next round in the battle for it began in the Court of Appeal, the emotion flared in all its unholy glory. For about a year, one faction, those demonstrating here, have used the coveted site in Sydney's west to the exclusion of their rivals. And despite being ordered out last week, in line with a Supreme Court ruling handing over control to their opponents, they've continued to occupy the church. The judge again ordered them out today and adjourned the court to allow time for them to vacate the premises. But the adjournment was contrary to pleas from council, aware of the tension building up outside the court.
We're going to beat them, we're going to kill every single one of them.
A brief scuffle had erupted earlier, and when both camps came head-on in the Supreme Court foyer, it was impossible for even swollen numbers of police to keep a lid on the conflict. With the threat of arrests, the violence eased, but it was a tenuous peace. The building was closed off, and after demonstrators marched on Parliament House, they were told only 5 of them would be permitted inside the court when it resumed. During the afternoon session, as the still agitated group waited outside, a peace plan was agreed to between leaders of the feuding parties in the court. What remains to be seen is if the members of what at this stage is the losing side will abide by it.
Will you make efforts to guarantee that your people abide?
I cannot guarantee even my own life. How I can guarantee people? Now it depends on the people what they're going to decide.
Back at the church, feelings were still running high.
They got the money, mate. They can do whatever they want.
The court had ordered the parishioners to vacate the church, ending a 6-day occupation. The police came by to make sure they complied with that order.
What about that central office now? And the door is open or closed?
The door is open.
But they remained outside, guarding the church from unwelcome intrusions from the rival group. Today's violent scenes have heightened fears among the parishioners that the dispute can only end in bloodshed. Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal has expedited the case, setting it down for the 3rd of August. Chris Castellari, SBS News.